This is going to be exercise 3 from the intermediate Power BI training. At this point, we are picking up where we left off from exercise 2. If you're jumping straight to this exercise, you may already see a blank page in front of you. If so, stay where you're at. For those of you whose screen looks like what I have here, go ahead to the bottom and click on the plus sign to add a new blank page. First, we're going to drag out the category onto the canvas. We are going to change the visual type from a table to a slicer. While you're at it, go ahead to the little triangle up here and turn it into a drop down. And go ahead and resize it so it just takes up a small portion of the screen. Now, while it is selected, we are going to make a copy of this slicer, and we're actually going to make 2 more copies. So do your Control C and then Control V, and you can actually do Control V a second time, and you will have 3 copies of the same exact slicer. Now what we're going to do is we are going to change out the fields that are in the 2 copies. So select the second one, go ahead and delete the category, go down to the enrollment, completion, and success table on the right hand side, locate subject, and click and drag that to the field. Next, go to the third slicer, delete the category, and then locate the catalog number and click and drag that into the slicer. So at this point we have 3 different slicers. And let's go ahead and make our selections for this exercise now by choosing fall. Under the subject, scroll down to math. And then under catalog number, we want to choose 1314. Be certain that you are on 1314 and not 0314, as that will make the results look wildly different. Now that we have that set, let's go over to our enrollment, completion, and success. Click and drag the head count onto the canvas. Go ahead while you're at it and put it into the upper left hand corner and resize it to make it a bit larger. And from here, we want to put the term name into the axis and the campus name into the legend. So I go to the D_term, drag the term name into the axis, and I'm going to drag campus name into the legend. At this point, what you are looking at is the total number of students that have taken Math 1314 by semester and by campus. Now, while the clustered column chart is selected, go ahead and use your shortcut keys to make a copy, Control C and Control V, and drag that new copy down below. Next, we want to delete the head count from the value. So make sure the bottom one is selected. You'll notice the border around it. Under values, go ahead and delete the head count. While we're over here, go ahead and click on line chart. So we've changed it from a clustered column chart to a line chart. And at the very bottom here on the right hand side, we want to go ahead and expand this persisted to next term. You can resize this over here to read everything. And we want to choose persist to third term percentage. And we want to drag that into our values. At this point, you'll notice there's a drop off here because for fall 2020, we want to actually get rid of this from just this visual. We want it up here, but we don't want it down here. So while this is selected, you'll notice there's a filters pane over here. We want to go to term name, and we want to do a select all, and then unselect fall 2020 fall. And at this point in time, we are looking at, of those students that took Math 13-14, what percentage of those students returned the following fall semester? At this point, while we're in the line chart, we want to delete the campus name from the legend. And go to the enrollment completion and success table over here and click and drag the grade into the legend. So at this point, you will notice everything is kind of grouped together with a couple of data points. So we need to filter out some of these data points that really do not belong within this visual. So while we're selected on this, back in our filters pane, go ahead and expand grade. We want to do a select all, and you'll see the total number of grades that are in there for each. So there's a grade of AU, which is audit. Unselect that. We also do not want these IP grades because those are incorrect grades for the course. So now what we are left with are just the A, B, C's, D's, F's, and W's. And you will see there's a clear separation between those students who get an F or a W in Math 13-14 versus those who get an A, B, C, or D, and the percentage of those students that come back the following year. At this point, make sure your line chart is active. We are going to make a copy of it utilizing our shortcut keys, Control-C, Control-V. And I'm going to drag the new one out to the right. With this new one selected, now we want to choose, first we want to delete the grade from the legend, and we want to go up to D_person, and we're going to drag gender into the legend. And you'll notice first we've got three values here: female, male, and then there's some unknowns for people who do not have that data identified on their records. So we're going to do like we did on the other one to remove some of those grades, but now we're going to remove the gender. And you'll notice when I expand gender over here, we have 17,804 records for females, 13,071 for male, and 3 records for unknown. So we're going to remove the unknown so that we only see male and female. So at this point, you can see the total number of students who've taken Math 13-14, what percentage of them persisted based upon the grade that they received, and what percentage of them persisted based on their gender. And at this point, you can actually filter each of these based upon clicking on the legends within the various visuals. So if I want to see this information solely for Cy-Fair campus, I can choose Cy-Fair from the head count at the top left, and it will filter the persistence rates of the grades and by male and female. If I want to see male and female by those who received an A in their course, I can click on the A. You'll notice it highlights the portion that received an A for each campus, and then it filters this visual to just those who received an A. And then I can go back to it by clicking the A again and going back to the original. At this point, exercise 3 is now concluded.